Yo, what's up guys? So today we are gonna see, what if Naruto got teleported to My Little Pony world, and got Harem, part 7, the last part. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic, Rakage52, link is in the description, and also subscribe to my channel, and like this video. Let's begin the video. Few months after Naruto defeated the Ursa Major. Extra. Read all about it, shouted the newspaper cult, who's selling newspapers, and Earth Pony defeated Ursa Major with strange powers. Extra. Reading all about it, the cult shouted again. Before he continued shouting, he heard some pony calling for him to buy the newspaper from him. Boy, here. It was Mad Stitch, or Stitch is what the public calls him. I take one young stallion. Here you go, doctor. The cult huffed the newspaper to Stitch. How much? Asked Stitch. 2 bits, doctor. Stitch huffed him 8 bits, the colt's eyes widened. Keep the change, lad. As the doctor walks away with the newspaper on the hoof. Thank you, doctor, shouted the young colt. After receiving his paper, Stitch walks down in the hustle and bustle of Manhattan Street. Along his path, he listens to the conversation of all the ponies around him as he passes them by. That Stitch is a generous fella, said the old stallion as he walked by. Yes, one of the kindest stallions you ever met, said the old mare as she walked by with a smile on her face. Loyal and honest to his patients if they had health problems, said the stallion. Hey, I'm one of his patients. I love you, Dr. Stitch. The stallion smile. Unknown to him, Stitch lied about his health problems, that he's okay. Stitch is a really good liar, really good. He's very handsome and funny, and a couple of mares giggles as Stitch passes by. He's really good with magic, using them in his doctor's skill, said one of the mares who giggles at him. You know, he should be the element of harmony, said one of the ponies that Stitch passed by. Yeah, said the group of ponies. Stitch stops walking and turns around to address the public. My fellow ponies, I may be good on those aspects, but I am just your simple doctor who's trying to help his fellow ponies to the best of his abilities. He walks away to his mansion, leaving every pony on the street with smiles on their faces. He's so modest. One of the mares spoke, every pony nodded. Unknown to them, Stitch is really a serial killer who only enjoys other ponies' suffering. He's manipulative, cunning, crafty, bloodlust, and cruel. Inside Stitch's mansion, he is sitting on his chair near the fireplace of his home, reading about our favorite knucklehead ninja in the newspaper. An Earth pony who has a strange power, eh? He saw Kurama's picture in the newspaper while battling with the Ursa Major, local Earth pony, who appeared in Ponyville 2 years ago, defeating an Ursa Major with his strange powers. Like cloning himself, breathes fire from his mouth, creating a giant blue energy orb on his hooves, and turning into a giant 9-tailed fox. Some say he fought Nightmare Moon during the summer sun celebration in Ponyville. Some of the residents said he fought her toe-to-toe, while others say it was one-sided. Some ponies fear his powers cause it's powerful enough to match the princess's power, and he is a close friend with the element of harmony. Stitch slightly smiles evilly. Interesting, this pony could benefit my research. Suddenly a swirl of distortion appeared behind him. After the swirl ended, a pony appeared with a purple cloak. It seems I'm not the only shinobi that appeared in this world. It seems so. You know him? Asked Stitch as he continued reading the newspaper. Yes, very well. Toby Madara opened his eyes to reveal Sharingan spinning rapidly. He will be a problem, we need to destroy him. Toby Madara paused for a moment. But not yet, but soon. How's your research, doctor? Asked Toby Madara to the insane doctor. Going very smoothly, I will be perfecting it the next 2 months. Stitch smirked evilly. Good, I also discovered an item that will help us in the future. Well, it seems our time is up. We still need to recruit for our plan. Have a good day, doctor. With that, Toby Madara vanished in a swirling vortex. Yes, new recruit, eh? I do hope they'll be interesting so I can experiment on them a little. He maniacally laughs within his mansion. Present time, midnight in Canterlot. Naruto jolted up from his bed, waking up with sweat on his face, and panting heavily. It seems like he is having a nightmare. Well, what was that, Naruto thought. He looked at the window in his room. He still sees the moon still up in the sky, illuminating down the city of Canterlot. Now unable to sleep, maybe a little stroll in the garden will help him calm down. Naruto stood up and walked towards the door. Right now Naruto arrives outside the castle and towards the garden. He felt the gentle breeze of the night wind blowing at him. He felt relaxed already. As he walks to the garden, he hears singing coming from the garden. He walks slowly to get closer to look who was singing. He hides inside a bush. When he found the source, he saw dark blue fur. After adjusting his vision, slowly clearing, it was indeed a blue fur. The blue fur belongs to Princess of the Night, Princess Luna. Naruto listens to Luna's beautiful voice, the voice of a true goddess. But Luna was singing a very sad song. He listened while some small woodland animal who lives in the garden listened to the Princess of the Night song. Luna stares at the moon for a moment, then slowly lowering her head while her eyes are closed, then she starts singing. Alone with the moon. Through the night. Why do I try? Who would care? Should I fade? I'm just wish that nobody made forever alone in the sky through the night. Why do I try? Naruto frowns on what Luna sang. It reminded him of his past before everyone cared for him. He descended slowly from his hiding spot and made himself show to Luna. Luna. Luna got startled and moved back a little. When she sees it was Naruto who's calling her, she clears her throat and returns her composure. Sir Naruto, we didn't notice thy approaching, said Luna nervously. Indeed a ninja with thy caliber approached us without making us notice thy presence. How are you still awake at this hour of night? Well, I had a little nightmare that I couldn't go back to sleep, said Naruto, as he rubbed his neck nervously. So, maybe night air will help me relax. That when I heard you sing, you have a beautiful voice, Luna. Luna blushes. Well, we have a more refined voice than our sister. Naruto chuckles. He looks at the night sky. It's beautiful, isn't it? What beautiful? Asked Luna. As Naruto still looks at the night, the stars and the moon are more beautiful than ever before. Luna looks at her beautiful night, she smiles softly. Yes, it is beautiful. Luna continues to stare at her night until her expression changes. She immediately turns her head down to look at Naruto with her eyes widened. What did you say? I said it was beautiful. Naruto looked at her before returning to stare at the moon. I stare at the beautiful night sky every once and while. Naruto looks at Luna with a gentle smile, but now, it's even more beautiful. They stayed like this for a few seconds, but it feels like forever. Naruto was about to say something until Luna gave him a warm embrace. Luna? Naruto felt something wet on the side of his neck. Thank you Sop, thanks you Sop, thank you. Luna shed some tears on Naruto's neck. Naruto was clueless why the princess of the night hugged him, and why she's crying. But Naruto felt the warmth radiating from her hug. The only thing he could think of in that situation was to hug her back. After a few seconds, they slowly separate from their hug, then they look at each other face to face with warm smiles. Luna looked up at the moon before looking back at him. Thank you. What for? For saying that the moon looks good. Nobody has ever said a nice thing like that about our work. She stared at her hooves. They always find something to complain about. Wait for your work. Naruto got even more confused. Do you control the night or something? Yes, I am Princess Luna, Princess of the Night, while my sister Celestia controls the day. She raised an eyebrow. Oh yeah, haha, I forgot, haha, said Naruto with a nervous laugh. I'm sorry. It's okay, it's an honest mistake. She took on her royal composure once again. How have you enjoyed yourself in Canterla during your stay? Well, I have been in the castle the entire time, but it has been great. Naruto relaxes, as the princess shifted her gaze back to her moon. What do you like about it? Luna asked. Like about what? The moon. She continued to stare at it, awaiting his response. Well, I like how the stars complement the moon's brightness, and the moon's. Naruto shifted his gaze at the moon's protection. Protection? Asked Luna with her eyebrow raised. Yeah, protection. As Naruto continues his moon gazing, when I was small, I had nightmares almost every night. Naruto saddens remembering his childhood. When I woke up after a nightmare, I felt like I wanted some pony embracing me. But I don't know any pony to comfort me during those times, except the moon. Luna looked at Naruto with a saddened expression. The moon was my only friend in those days, when I woke up from my nightmare. I look at the moon hitting me with its warmth emerging from its light, making me calm, and putting me back into a peaceful sleep. Naruto stops staring at the moon, and returns to face Luna with a warm-hearted smile. That's what I think of the moon. Few moments Luna stares at him, then she shed a small tear. She lets it drop before wiping it off from her face. She smiled at him. Thank you Naruto, I have duties to perform. She's about to leave, but Luna looks at Naruto one more time. I would like to talk more at some point. She looked at the moon, then back to him. Are you free tomorrow night? Sure, yeah, meet here. Naruto was a bit confused to what had happened in the past 2 minutes. Luna nodded, and took her leave through the garden. Also Naruto returned to his room, and fell on top of the bed. Finally he sighed happily, as he drifted off to sleep. The next morning, Naruto woke up, letting out a loud yawn before standing up, and stumbled lazily into his bathroom, rubbing the crust from his eyes. He looked in the mirror, and saw his mane in a spiky mess. Oh wait, it's always been like that. After a few minutes Naruto got out of the bath, as a knock came at the door. He quickly wrapped a towel around his waist. He opened the door, and revealed an earth pony wearing a maid's outfit. A very good morning to you, Lord Naruto. She greeted me with a chipper tone. Breakfast is ready, the princesses are waiting for you. Naruto blinked a few times, and shook his head to clear it. Yeah, he replied sleepily. How could she be so perky this early in the morning? Princess Celestia has ordered me to serve you during your stay here, she informed him. My name is Sunshine. A maid in the service of Princess Celestia named Sunshine. Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, and chuckled slightly. Sunshine didn't seem to take offense however, and smiled widely. It is quite funny, isn't it? Naruto just nodded and, after a quick brushing and face wash, followed Sunshine back to the dining hall where Celestia and Luna were waiting. Good morning Naruto, the Solar Princess said, as he walked in. Did you sleep well? Naruto nodded as he took a seat. Yes, thank you Princess Celestia. Good morning to you, Princess Luna. Naruto said happily. Yes, good morning to you too, Sir Naruto. Luna also greeted with a nervous tone. Naruto walked around the long table and sat in the empty chair. This food looks good, he said, as he saw the arrangement of food that ran down the table. There was a large variety of breads, flours, salads, some flavorings, drinks, and ramen. I'm sure the chefs appreciate that compliment. Princess Celestia asked from the far side of the table, taking a sip of tea. Every pony begins to eat their breakfast, except Luna eating her dinner. After breakfast is finished, Princess Celestia summons her maids to clear the table and bring some tea. In a flash, the maids clear the table and bring the tea in 10 seconds flat. There was silence in the room until Celestia spoke. I hear you had a spar with the captain of the royal guard, and you won, said Celestia as she sipped some of her tea. Luna's eyes widened with worry from the surprise news. Are you hurt, Sir Naruto? Asked Luna with a worried expression. Of course Naruto is strong, but she doesn't know why she's worried about him. Yes, I'm fine, answered by Naruto. He pouts at the Night Princess. You know Luna, you can call me Naruto. We're friends, aren't we? Of course, we are, shouted Luna. Then she realized she shouted. Her face turned bright red. Oh, did Luna make a friend? Celestia smirked seeing her embarrassed sister. Her sister looked away and rubbed her forehooves together. Yes. Celestia quickly hugs her and rubs her cheek on Luna's cheek. Oh Luna, I'm so proud of you. Luna's face quickly turns red to crimson. She scowls at her sister and tries to push Celestia away, but to no avail. Sister, get off, we have a guest, show some dignity. Celestia pout. But Lulu, you are so cute when you get embarrassed. Luna scowls her sister. Don't call me that. Naruto chuckles seeing the royal sister interacting with each other. They're like regular ponies, not their royal persona. When he looked at Celestia, she even got scolded by her sister. He can tell Celestia is very happy inside. She really misses her sister. Same goes to Luna. She couldn't blame Celestia for imprisoning her on the moon. She was a monster. Their only wish is that it must never happen again, so that they'll never feel the pain of loneliness and guilt for all those years. Rah, we're going to bed. Luna huffs in frustration. She speaks to Naruto before she walks out towards the door. We see thee later tonight, as we meet Naruto. She blushed in embarrassment a moment ago. Sorry for earlier. She continues to blush before narrowing her eyes towards her innocent-looking older sister, who's snickering at her. No problem, sometimes families are weird that way. Naruto waves it off before giving Luna a warm smile. Okay bye. Luna immediately said her goodbyes before anything else to embarrass herself. Celestia chuckled at her. You really miss her, huh? Asked Naruto. Celestia's happy expression changed to sorrow. Yes, greatly so. Celestia looked down in shame. I wish that incident never happened. Celestia shed tears running down her cheek. Suddenly she felt a warm embrace. The orange ninja comforted her. For 1,000 years no pony hugged her warmly. She absorbs every warm feeling from the orange stallion, so she hugs back. She feels so protective from this warmth. Like almost every sorrow, her guilt, hatred, sadness, loneliness, and all her regret wash away somehow. The two face each other, while still in their embrace. Naruto wipes the tears from Celestia. They look into each other's eyes. Naruto smiles at Celestia warmly. Celestia smiles back. Never realized their faces are so close, like they can almost kiss each other, and also never realized that one of the maids walked in with some more tea. They got red on her cheeks seeing the princess, and the orange ninja faces so close to each other. She coughs, cough cough pee princess. Naruto and Celestia wake up from their own little world, and now realize they were so close. They immediately pull apart from their hug, with crimson on their faces. A few minutes later, the maid refilled the tea, and walked out of the room. They have a hard time looking at each other after a moment, until Celestia clears her throat, and returns to her perfect princess persona. So how's the girls' training? Naruto also returns his compass self. They're doing great. As Naruto sips his tea, with his chakra Applejack strength doubled better than regular Earth Pony has, Rainbow Dash's speed improved with chakra, she could maybe reach Mach 2, Fluttershy, and Rarity medic skills improved a lot, especially Fluttershy, and Pinky with chakra she become even pinker. That sent chills down Naruto's spine. And there's Twilight, her studies on sealing is incredible. Naruto smiles softly. I have never been so proud. How about the Crusader and Spike? Asks Celestia. Well, they're great too. The Crusaders are working so hard on their ninjutsu, especially Scootaloo. Naruto chuckled. That filly can be stubborn, as I am. And Spike is the same, as me in a way. Naruto smiles sadly. Oh, how so? Well, I don't really know. But something in him reminded me of myself, that's all. Celestia nodded. You didn't teach them everything, didn't you? Suddenly the atmosphere became tense, Celestia looking at Naruto with a serious expression. Naruto's expressions changed too, more seriously. No, they're not shinobi. They're just regular young adults with chakra, that's all. I see. What will they learn if you teach everything? Celestia calmly asked. I will teach them how to kill. Being a shinobi isn't easy. Naruto's voice suddenly turns grim. You have to be ready to kill any pony. He'll hurt your precious ponies. As I never killed any pony, most of my opponents die by their own undoing. But I will not hesitate to kill any pony who hurts my friends, even the gods themselves. Naruto looks at Celestia with a slit red like a demon in his eyes. Whoever hurt my precious people or pony, they'll all die by my hoofs. Those few moments sent chills around the entire castle. Every pony in the castle felt like they lost a lot of air, except Celestia, who stood firm, but a little sweat ran down her forehead. I see. Okay then, everything will be fine then. Suddenly everything returns to normal. Celestia laughs cheerfully. Also Naruto returns to normal laughter with Celestia. After breakfast tea time with Celestia and Luna, who's only there for breakfast, Naruto decided to go to the courtyard and train a bit. When he arrived in the courtyard, he saw a few guards training there. Naruto went to do some weight training. He hears some of the guards whispering among themselves. Two royal guards approach Naruto. Naruto stops lifting weights, putting down the weights. Now his attention is fully on the two guards with different armor. Hello sir, my name is Cloud Skipper, Vice Captain of the Royal Guard, and my friend here is Midnight Blossom, one of the elite lunar guards. Cloud Skipper is a white stallion Pegasus with lighter blonde mane and tail. He has cerulean eyes, his cutie mark is a rainbow skipping on clouds, and he is wearing standard Royal Guard armor, with a blue star located on the center. Next to him, a dragon-like wings pony named Midnight Blossom. Her coat is gray, her mane is light purple, gold slit eyes, and her cutie mark is a flower that only blooms at night. She also wears armor like Cloud Skipper, but different. Her armor is a violent color with a slight purple on other parts of her armor. At the center of her armor is a light blue slit eye. Okay, so, what can I do for you? Asked Naruto. Well, sir, my friend and I were wondering. Are you really that strong, as the captain described you? Cloud Skipper got angry and smacked Midnight's head for interrupting him. I told you to stop interrupting me, Cloud Skipper scolded her. Midnight pout. But Skippy, I want to know. Midnight pouted at him, making him scowl some more and whack her again. Don't call me that. Did that hurt, Skippy? Midnight rubs her head from all the hits that whacking she received. Do I have to remind you? Article 5.3 Paragraph 2, Cloud Skipper gets a long-ass scroll filled with all the rules and regulations of the day and night guard code. Oh, here we go. Midnight rolled her eyes listening to her best friend's rules again. While on their own little session, they totally forgot about Naruto, who had a confused expression on him. So he decided to move on with his training. After a few hours of training, Naruto went out of the castle and explored the city. Naruto found himself in the central city of Canterlot as he strolled around, seeing the different architectural buildings in the city. Quite different from Konoha, the buildings are all in different sizes and shapes. As Naruto walks around the city, he makes a turn outside the main street. He saw a small restaurant named Barady near a curio shop. He also saw some three thugs harassing one unicorn mare outside the restaurant. Hey baby, I want a real stallion to show you a good time. Unicorn thug wiggles his eyebrows with a smug smile. No thanks, the mare rolls her eyes. I see a real stallion in a stable compared to you. The mare was about to walk away, and the earth pony thug grabbed her hoof. We're not asking. Hey, let me go. The mare struggles to get free from the thug grip. The bystanders near the restaurant just watch and do nothing. No pony is helping the mare. Oh come on, we'll show you a good time, said the Pegasus thug with a smirk on his face. No, I said let me go. The mare finally got free from the earth thug, then she kicked him in the face. The thug knocked back with tiny blood running down from his mouth. You bitch, all three thugs rushed towards the mare. The unicorn mare was cowering when the thugs were about to reach her. In an instant, the mare saw an orange blur right in front of her, and all the three stallions were on the ground groaning in pain. One of them got a broken snort. Naruto stood there with a menacing aura, and it was low too. One of the thugs almost wet himself. Some pony wants to play hero, huh? Said the unicorn thug, who's brave enough to confront Naruto. Leave the mare alone, and maybe I'll let you all live, said Naruto with a stoic tone. Why you think you can take all three of us? Said one piss-off earth pony thug. Yeah, even a 12-year-old filly is a better match than you three. The Pegasi had enough and yelled, that's it. Get him. Before any pony makes a move, they hear a voice coming from the inside of the restaurant. Who the fuck messing with my restaurant? When the restaurant's door opens, it reveals an earth pony smoking a cigarette. He has a light brown mane and tail, gray eyes, tan color, and his cutie mark is an Italian dish. The stallion looks around. He looks at the thugs, then Naruto. But when his eyes land on the unicorn mare who's on the ground behind Naruto, he drops his cigarette. What have you done? Every pony got a blank expression, eh? The stallion rushes towards the mare and knocks Naruto away. Are you alright, mademoiselle? Yeah. The mare nodded dumbly. The tan stallion nods and smiles with sparkling eyes, then turns around and faces Naruto and the thugs. He hardened his eyes towards them. You will all pay for this crime. The tan stallion charges at them, and jumps high into the air, and lands a powerful kick to the Pegasus thug's neck. Call your shoot. As he sends the Pegasus flying back, he stops between the two remaining thugs, then he drops down into a one-hoofed huff stand position. He kicks the Earth Pony thug hard in the ribs. Code LED. Followed by spins around in the opposite direction to deliver a fast kick to the Earth Pony's lower back. Sell. The Earth Stallion drops to the ground groaning in pain, then he kicks the Unicorn thug's stomach. Flanch it. The Unicorn holds his stomach in pain, and drops to the ground, then a straight-on sidekick to Naruto's collarbone. Tendon. But the tan stallion's eyes widened, and his kick was blocked by Naruto's hoof. He saw that Naruto's eyes were narrowing at him. Hey. What do you think you're hitting me for? Naruto shouted with an annoying expression. You hurt that young mare over there. The tan stallion pointed at the mare who tilted her head. Naruto got annoyed again. I was helping, you idiot. The tan stallion also got annoyed. You're an idiot. Idiot. They glared at each other comically, and started to insult each other. Guys. The mare tried to calm the two down, not realizing the three thugs escaped. Guys. The two are still arguing. The unicorn mare got really annoyed by this. She shakes her hooves, and whacks their heads. Shut up. Though, the two finally stop arguing, and now nursing their bump on their head. The mare took a deep breath, looking like he was helping me. When I was about to get hit by one of those imbeciles, she explained to the tan stallion. Until he saved me, she pointed at Naruto. The tan stallion snorted, and sighs. Okay, I believe your name's Bucking Cuisine, my mademoiselle. He grabs her hoof, and kisses it. Your name's Mare Mist, both Naruto, and her eyes roll. She had snowy blue coat with snowy white, lightly curling mane, and tail, with lightly blue eyes, and a cutie mark with a huge glass mirror with mist surrounding it. Well, name's Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto puts on a foxy grin with a nice guy pose, while Mare Mist slightly blushes, and chuckles at his antics. Naruto Uzumaki. Asks Bucking Cuisine with a scowl on his face, that weird-ass name. Naruto scowls at him. Well, unlike yours, Bucking Cuisine, really. Sounds like a perverted name. Bucking scowled deeply. It means kicking you, asshole. Really? I never guessed, said Naruto with a sarcastic tone. Bastard Bucking is ready to kick Naruto's ass, until Mare Mist stops him by whacking him on the head. Mare Mist was about to say something until some random explosion erupts behind them. All of them turn around. The smoke and debris is covering something big. Suddenly a giant black hand emerges from the smoke, and slams it to the ground where the three are. The three scatter in different directions, but the shockwave sent them flying. The civilians started to scream, and ran out of there. Some ponies started calling the royal guards, leaving only the one who didn't leave. Naruto groaned, and stood up. He set his eyes on the huge shadow covering by the smoke. When the smoke cleared, it revealed a giant Minotaur with black coat of fur, except for the lower part of his body is slightly gray. His one eye has a scar running down top to bottom, and his other one is just red rage. He has steel-like horn. And he also wields a huge warhammer. The Minotaur sets his eyes on Naruto, and charges at him. Naruto also charges at the Rampage Bull. Both raised their hoof fist. When they connected, it created a shockwave that destroyed half of the city's block. This Minotaur looks interesting. Suddenly Kurama, who speaks up inside Naruto's mindscape. Yeah, we haven't had much action since the Ursa Major incident. Also Shikaku joins. Indeed, it will be a gorgeous victory for the Great Ape Sage, now Son Goku. What? It should be me. I've been itching for a battle for a long time. Now it should be my turn, said the enraged Tanuki. Where have you guys been? You all didn't say anything for the past few weeks, shouted Naruto at the 9 giant beasts. Napping, all the Biju deadpanned. Naruto's eyes twitched, and sighed. Whatever, but you're right, Kurama, something interesting about this Minotaur. Yes, when your punch connects to his, I feel some chakra transmitting from his attack. So, he uses chakra. Naruto's eyes widened. But that's impossible. No pony knows about chakra except me, Spike, the girls, and the princesses. No time for detail, look out, shouted Jayuki. Naruto saw the giant warhammer coming straight at him, and Naruto dodged it in a nick of time. Naruto quickly inhales a huge amount of air, and releases a giant fireball. Kaden. Nkakuk no Jutsu, fire release. Great fireball technique. The fireball went directly at the Minotaur, and caused a large explosion. Naruto grins, but quickly turns into a frown. When the smoke cleared, the Minotaur stood there like the fireball never happened. Then the Minotaur swings his giant hammer, and hits Naruto, sending him flying through 2 buildings, and spilling a little blood on the hammer. Before the Minotaur was about to grab Naruto from the wreckage, Bucking Cuisine stood in front of him with a cigarette in his mouth. I hope you have enough money to pay for my damaged restaurants. His restaurant got damaged during the shockwave that he and Naruto created. But, I think I know how you should pay. Bucking Cuisine drop his cigarette, and stomp it, is to kick your ass. Bucking jumps up in the air, and delivers a powerful kick, aiming it to the Minotaur's hand. Not only does it damage the hand, it also knocks the warhammer away. Slice shoot. immediately followed up with a straight stab kick at the chest, making the Minotaur off balance. Using the Minotaur's chest jump stand, he jumps higher into the air and aims one leg directly downwards towards the Minotaur. He then drops downwards while spinning like a drill to spear his opponent with his extended leg. Poitrine. Bruschette. Pweh, that wasn't tough. When Bucking turns around to see if his restaurant is still intact, Bucking smiles with pride, as his restaurant is still standing, not until it crumbled down. His jaw dropped with a blank face. During the last kick, the impact created a shockwave equal to Naruto and Minotaur's punch. Bucking's jaw still dropped not until he was sent flying numerous buildings by the Warhammer. After the Minotaur sent Bucking flying, he landed onto the 2 collapsed buildings where Naruto is. When the Minotaur was about to reach the building, an orange blur came out from the building. Immediately the Minotaur uses his Warhammer to block the incoming attack. I must congratulate you for making me use this. What the Warhammer blocking is a massive broadsword shaped like a giant butcher knife. The blade itself has 2 cutouts, a circle close to the top, and a semicircular one nearer the handle that aptly fit the sword's purpose of decapitation. The latter notch allows a strap to be wrapped around the weapon, making it easier for the user to carry. Its extremely long handle is also detachable to further aid transportation, and then reattached when required for combat. I would like to introduce you to this sword. Her name is Kubikurumbj. Naruto grins, as he grinds the blade on the hammer, creating a spark. It's the perfect replica of Kubikirabacho. The weapon repels each other, making the 2 knock back from each other, now, the 2 standing a couple of feet away, and ready to attack. No pony. A Minotaur is making a move. Naruto's eyes harden, and focus only on his opponent. He tightens his grip on the blade. The Minotaur also tightens his grip on his hammer. The air starts to turn heavy, as the 2 are ready to attack. Then the Minotaur makes the first move, rushing towards Naruto with his hammer swinging at him. Naruto repelled each swing with his blade, when the hammer lifted up high, and dropped down with extreme force. Naruto quickly blocked the impact. When the hammer hit the blade, it created an intense force. Naruto grips his teeth from the force that grounded him down, when he saw his blade cracking. Fuck, this kind force is enough to break Kubikurumbj. The force pushing Naruto down creates a crater beneath him. How strong is he? This is my first time fighting a Minotaur. Our all Minotaur's strength is strong. Kubikurumbj is about to break. The Minotaur puts on some more force. The blade breaks, and Naruto's eyes widen. This opening gives the Minotaur to swing his hammer one more time. Before he smashes Naruto, a tan blur hits his side, making him off balance. Initiative shoot. Fuck, how hard is he? Bucking rubs his soaring leg. It's like hitting steel. Bucking turns his attention to Naruto, and shouts, "What are you waiting for? Finish him." Naruto shook his head, right. Naruto looks at the Minotaur, who's still stunned from Bucking's attack. You want a bullfight, you got it. Naruto is doing some weird dance, and some kind of rapping. Okay, you Minotaur creep, get ready to eat shit, cause the 8 tails are coming, and they will bring you to your knees. With that, a red chakra covering Naruto, then his body started to peel his skin. His chest area widened, his size, his horn-like mane turned into real horns, and his tail grew 7 more red tails. He transformed into a bull-like creature with a bloody red coat of chakra covering him, and 8 tails. Tail Beast State 2. I've got energy to spare, and a sparkling charm. The 8-tailed killer and rockin' the rhyme. Oh yeah. The Biju sweat drop. Naruto, you will never rap again. Both Kurama and Jayuki shook their heads, and signed. Naruto charges at the Minotaur with a large skull-like bull forming on his head. Lariat horn charge. The Minotaur's head is cut clean off, then Naruto does a spin, and screeches. "We." Naruto cancels his tail beast state, before the royal guards arrive. Few moments later, the royal guards salvage the destroyed block. Emergency pony attended Naruto, and Bucking's wounds. "So, any idea what was that all about?" asked Bucking, as he was bandaging up. "Don't know. After the royal guard arrived in only 1 second I turned my back, and it disappeared," answered Naruto, who's sitting beside Bucking. "Hey, sorry about your restaurant." Naruto gives Bucking a grin. "I hope you have ramen." "Ramen, never heard of it," said Bucking. "Yeah, my restaurant was destroyed during all this, but I can rebuild it, eventually." "Hey, I'll be your first customer when it reopens." Naruto smiles at the beautiful sunset. "You're not a bad fighter though." Bucking chuckle, "You're not bad yourself." Suddenly 2 ponies tackle Naruto. Bucking's jaw dropped. The one who tackled and hugged him tightly was the 2 beautiful princesses. "Naruto, are you okay?" Celestia firmly checks Naruto's wound. "Are you hurt?" "Naruto, are you alright?" Luna tightly hugged Naruto like her life depended on it. "Girls, I'm fine." Naruto gives them a hair-rimming smile, making the 2 princesses blush. "Oh, this is my new friend Bucking Kui's." Naruto was cut off by Bucking punching his face. "What the fuck is wrong with you?" shouted Naruto. "You bastard, how dare you?" "Huh? How dare you? You're so close to the princess, you corrupted them." "What? Are you dating them?" "What?" "No." Naruto blushes. "So does the princesses." "Don't tell me, you deflowered them." Shocked, Bucking, and ready to beat Naruto's ass. "Deflowered?" Naruto draws a blank, but the princesses turn crimson. Sex, you fool. What? No, you pervert. Shouted Naruto with the crimson color on his face. Admit it, you did. You deflowered our royal highness. No? You pervert. For hours they argued until the moon set up to the sky. The next morning, the princesses and Naruto are standing on the castle balcony as Naruto is ready to leave. Thank you for everything, Selly, Lulu, said Naruto. Are you sure you're ready to leave? They can stay a little longer if he wishes, said Luna with a saddened expression. Naruto shook his head. I can't, my friends miss me already, but hey, it's not like you can't visit me next time. Celestia nodded. Indeed, with your teleportation mark on the balcony, you can visit us anytime. As she confronts her little sister who feels a little better. Is Bucking okay? Asked Naruto. He is fine, replied Celestia. As we speak, his restaurant is rebuilt from the money we gave him. Good, Naruto nodded. Well, I must be going now, see you later. Farewell, Naruto. Both sisters wave goodbye, as Naruto disappears in a yellow flash. Private car in Friendship Express. Stitch having his dinner inside the train heading towards Manhattan. Suddenly a swirling vortex appears behind Stitch. Stitch, what was that in Canterlot? Toby Madara stern at Stitch. Research, bluntly said Stitch. You almost exposed us to the enemy. I tested the experiment and got data on the stallion, as Stitch smirked. Be glad I retrieved the item I seek, as Toby Madara is holding up something with his hoof. It is an amulet that has an alicorn image and a red gem in the center. But where's Stitch? You're walking on thin ice. Toby Madara vanished in a swirling vortex. Stitch chuckled. Oh, don't you worry, my friend. As Stitch brought out a test tube bottle with Naruto's blood in it. With this we can make a whole bunch of super ponies. Am I right, Warhoof? The name of the Black Minotaur, as he smirked evilly. Somewhere near Canterlot Park. Mare Mist escaped the battle earlier, and traveled to Canterlot Park where there's a forest nearby. As she travels through the forest she stumbled upon a cave. She went into the cave, then a green flame engulfed her, and changed her appearance. She is now tall, as Celestia. Instead of snowy blue coat, it turns into a very dark grey coat. Her mane changed from snowy white and curly into dark cerulean. Her eyes changed from lightly blue to darkish green, and her horn changed into a crooked horn. Now she also have insect-like wings. Welcome back, my queen. As an insect-like pony stood guard beside a stone door. How was your trip to Canterlot? It was, as the stone door opened, and she went inside. She remembered her interaction with an orange stallion earlier. Interesting to say the least. Then the stone door closed. It's been weeks since the Minotaur incident in Canterlot, and got chewed up by the girls for being reckless again. Naruto is in deep thought with many questions going through his head like, how did the Minotaur use chakra? Of course, he never saw the Minotaur use it. But he sensed it. The chakra is a little different though, like it is incomplete or something, but it still felt like chakra. Also another thing, something strange happened after the battle. It was a time when Naruto was busy attending to the royal guard who arrived after the battle. He went back to see the Minotaur, but it vanished like it was never there in the first place. This piques Naruto's paranoia. Something dangerous is out there. Maybe he needs to establish his spy networks before there are any threats that will endanger Equestria. As Naruto walked through the path surrounded by trees towards Fluttershy's cottage, Naruto suddenly began hearing noises somewhere behind the trees. Naruto checks it out. He peeks a glimpse behind a tree, only to see 3 fillies training. In the open field, Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, and Apple Bloom face each other off. Each of the fillies has belts around their waist, and attached to those belts are small pouches containing different types of weapons. They don't know how to seal yet, so they could carry their equipment easier. They intensely stare at each other, waiting for the others to make the first move. There's no sound, except the wind blowing through the forest. Then in a burst of speed, Scootaloo makes the first move. Using her wings to open her pouch, grab 5 shuriken, then throw them at Apple Bloom while running towards her. Apple Bloom quickly grabs a kunai from her pouch, and puts it in her mouth, then reflects 3 shuriken, and dodge the other 2. In a blur Scootaloo appears right in front of her. Scootaloo launches a series of punches and kicks. Apple Bloom also launches a series of attacks. Both dodge, parry, and block each other's attacks. Scootaloo left jab Apple Bloom, but only missed a quarter of an inch from her face. Apple Bloom quickly grabs Scootaloo's hooves, and judo throws her. Scootaloo was thrown through the air. Scootaloo quickly twisted her body, and landed safely to the ground. Now 2 fillies stare at each other intensely, not until a shadow casts over them from above. It was Sweetie Belle eclipsing them from the sun. She tapped her hooves together, and unleashed a stream of water from her mouth. Mizrappa, water release. Wild water wave. Apple Bloom quickly cast, and dived through the ground. In the other hoof, Scootaloo has no defense because of her nature. She quickly dodged in a burst of speed. As Sweetie Belle landed on a puddle of water, she looked at the area to find where the others were. Until she turned around, and saw Scootaloo summon a clone. Scootaloo looked almost exhausted because she summoned a real clone. She may have a bit more chakra than the other 2 Crusaders, but not as much as Naruto when he was 13. A clone charges at Sweetie Belle and throws a straight punch. Sweetie Belle reacts quickly. She cross-blocks the attack, pushing her a bit from her original spot. Then the real Scootaloo rushes towards Sweetie Belle with her clone. Sweetie Belle stood there ready to take Scootaloo head-on. Okay, maybe she's a little scared. She is physically weaker than the other two. Scootaloo is only inches away from Sweetie Belle until two hooves erupt from the ground. Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle jump backward to evade the attack, but unfortunately for the clone it got caught and dragged to the ground only to poof away. Apple Bloom emerges from the ground only to meet two staring eyes at her. All three stare at each other, then they tap their hooves and unleash them at the same time. Mizrapa, water release. Wild water wave. Thon, Reaction, wind release. Gale palm. Doten, Dorum Kami, earth release. Med wolves. All three attack and collide, an explosion is created, and the shockwave from the blast knocks them away and lands on top of a tree, then to the ground covering tree sap and pine needles. Naruto nervously chuckled. You know, maybe it wasn't a good idea to teach them about chakra. Is he glad no parents complained at you yet, said Kurama. The fillies groan and stand up as they walk toward each other. See anything? Asked Applebloom. Scootaloo looked and saw no cutie mark. Only tree sap and pine needles, but no cutie mark, answered Scootaloo. Are you sure? We can get our cutie marks as ninja? Sweetie Belle questioned. Of course, as an Uzumaki I must be a ninja, said Scootaloo, as she proudly stated her clan last name. Naruto beaming at Scootaloo with pride. But I'm from the Apple clan, stated Applebloom. Does that make me a farmer by default? Applebloom raises an eyebrow. No, not every pony's talent lies in their family career, said Sweet Belle. Take me for example, my sister is talented in fashion, but I'm not. Sweetie Belle frowned. Maybe you guys, I'm proud to be an Uzumaki, stated Scootaloo. As an Uzumaki I will continue my family tradition. As Scootaloo stood proudly. Maybe we should do something less dangerous, Sweetie Belle offered as she walked over to them. Like pillow testing. Or flower sniffing. What? We continue our training, said Scootaloo. Who wants to practice kunai throwing? Scootaloo asked, giving a determined but frightening look on her face. The other girls returned faces filled with fear. She noticed this and lowered her head. Fine. We do something safe. Scootaloo pouted. Applebloom had slid a couple of buckets filled with water and a washing rag towards Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle. Applebloom washed her hooves and used the rag to clean herself as the other fillies followed. This town is full of ponies who have their cutie marks. Why don't we ask them how they did it? That's a great safe idea. Sweetie Belle agreed. Yeah. And we can start with the coolest pony in Ponyville. Scootaloo began. Naruto. Sweetie Belle and Applebloom suggested. Naruto smirks. Scootaloo nervously rubs her neck. Naruto is cool and all, but not that cool. With that comical arrow hit Naruto's heart and fell over. Ouch, that gotta hurt. Kurama snickers at Naruto. Naruto growls at the giant fox. Shut up, Kurama. The two fillies offered their sisters necks. Applejack. Verity. Come on, guys, I said cool. You know who I'm talking about. Scootaloo began racing through the trees with her wings while staying on the ground. She's fast. She's tough. She's not afraid of anything. Pinkie Pie? They both asked. No? The greatest flyer ever to come out of Cloudsdale. Scootaloo dropped another hint. Fluttershy? No? Rainbow Dash. Scootaloo gave up. Naruto Fasahoof. Oh? Yeah, that makes much more sense. Applebloom realized. Of course. Sweetie Belle added. Let's do it. Let's find out how Rainbow Dash found her cutie mark. Scootaloo held out her hooves. Yeah. Applebloom and Sweetie Belle placed their hooves on Scootaloo to only get themselves stuck with the tree sap Scootaloo still had. They tried to break themselves free, but couldn't, causing them to groan. Naruto steps out of the bush and walks over to them. Need help? Naruto. The fillies exclaimed. Naruto grabbed the bucket of water and poured it on their hooves and slowly pulled them away from each other. Naruto brought the 3 buckets to each of them. Wash your hooves so you won't have any more tree sap. Thanks, Naruto. Applebloom thanked as they washed their hooves. So, what are you doing anyway? Asked Naruto, as he already knows anyway. Well, we're trying to get our cutie mark, said Sweetie Belle with a cheerful expression. Oh, how are you gonna do that? We're gonna ask Rainbow Dash how she got her cutie mark, said Scootaloo. Maybe I can come and tag along, this could be interesting. Naruto grinned, and besides some pony needs to look after you 3. The 3 of them looked at each other. Scootaloo sighed. Okay. She began racing over to her parked scooter with a wagon attached from behind. Applebloom and Sweetie Belle ran and jumped into the wagon, placing on the helmets that were lying inside. Scootaloo jumped on her scooter, but then realized something. Wait, where's my helmet? She asked. Naruto walked up to her and gave her the helmet she had thrown earlier. She looked at him and smiled, taking the helmet. Thanks, Naruto. She placed on the helmet and began fluttering her wings. Scootaloo immediately exclaimed, "Cutie mark Crusaders away." She took off in the scooter, as Naruto ran beside them. Suddenly 3 rabbits holding 3 apples each of their paws blocked the road. "Whoa!" Naruto shouted, as he stopped Scootaloo from moving any further. "Get back here, you thieving varmints!" A familiar voice shouted. "Thieving what now?" Apple Bloom questioned. Unexpectedly, Applejack jumped out from the bushes nearby. However, she was pouncing straight at Naruto. Applejack realized this, and ended up crashing on top of him. "Naruto!" she exclaimed. "I'm alright," Naruto responded with a grunt. "I should see that coming." When Applejack saw her face, and Naruto's face were very close to each other, she quickly removed herself from on top of Naruto, and held him up while something heated on her cheeks. Meanwhile, Apple Bloom had taken a glance at Applejack's flank, and her face filled with joy. "Hey sis. How'd you get your cutie mark?" Applejack lifted up her eyes in confusion. "I never told you that story," she asked. "Hey. I thought we were gonna ask Rainbow Dash." Scootaloo intervened. "We need all the help we can get," Apple Bloom reasoned. "Fine." Scootaloo surrendered. "Why, shoot," Applejack began. "I was just a little filly. Even littler than y'all." Applejack sat down on the ground and brought Naruto closer to hear her story. Cue flashback sound. Flashback. First person view. "I didn't want to spend my life at a muddy old apple farm. I wanted to live a sophisticated life, like my aunt and Uncle Orange. So I set out to try my luck in a big city. Manhattan. The most cosmopolitan city in all of Equestria. I knew I'd find out who I was meant to be in Manhattan. When I arrived at my aunt and uncle's, I knocked on their door. They let me into the new life I was going to live. Aunt Orange. Uncle Orange. Thank you all so much for letting me stay," I told them, as I walked into their place. "Y'all. Isn't she just a living aunt?" my aunt said. My uncle chuckled. "How quaint. Don't worry. We'll have you acting like a true Manhattanite in no time," my aunt assured me. It sure went by faster than a sunrise when they taught me the ways of a Manhattanite. We were having a dinner party, as we all sat down at a table with our guests. "And how are you finding good old Manhattan?" one of the gentle stallions asked me at the table. "Oh, it's simply divine," I told him in a voice you wouldn't believe to be mine. "Very well said, my dear." My aunt congratulated me. Although, I must admit the city noise took some getting used to. Where I'm from, nights are so quiet you seldom hear a peep until the roosters wake you. My answer frightened every pony, as if they had never seen or even heard a rooster before. As my aunt began covering for me, I quickly grew nervous in my mind. What's he talking about? What should I say? I don't want to look like a fool. That's what I was thinking until the food had finally arrived at our table. Thank goodness. Being a city pony's hard work. I'm so hungry I could eat. The top was taken off of the plate to only show a disappointed amount of food on it. I couldn't believe it. That night in my room, as I watched the sunrise, I could only wonder what my family back at Sweet Apple Acres was doing. Oh, I wonder what Granny Smith and Big Macintosh are up to. I bet they're apple bucking their way through the red delicious trees. Oh, what I wouldn't give for just one bite. I never felt homesick in all my days, as I did right then. Then all of a sudden, there was this loud explosion across the sky. It was amazing. A rainbow pointing right back to home. In that moment, it all became clear. I knew right then just who I was supposed to be. That's when the seer appeared. Then flashback. She pointed her eyes towards her cutie mark. I've been happily working on the farm ever since. The triplet of bunnies came by once more to provoke Applejack, as they blew their tongues while holding the apples they stole. There they are. Get back here, you thieving varmints. Applejack began racing after them. That was such a sweet story. Sweetie Belle commented. Sweet. Trisappy. Scootaloo climbed onto her scooter and mocked a gag. Come on. We've got to find Rainbow Dash and hear the cool way to get a cutie mark. Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle climbed into the wagon and Scootaloo sped off. Naruto follows them. As they continue down the path they see Fluttershy in their path. When Scootaloo slammed on her brakes, it sent the 3 fillies flying towards the ground. Not until Naruto quickly uses his speed to catch the fillies before they hit the ground. Naruto puts them down when they turn around. They saw baby ducks walking across the path into the other side of the road. Alright, little ones. This way. This way. You really should be more careful. Some pony could get hurt. Why are you in such a hurry anyway? Fluttershy said to the Crusaders. We're trying to find Rainbow Dash, so we can hear how she earned her cutie mark. Scootaloo answered. Oh, Fluttershy replied. That would be interesting. You know, I wouldn't have gotten my cutie mark if it weren't for her. Fluttershy surprised Naruto a bit with her answer. Rainbow Dash? Really? Scootaloo excitedly asked. Oh yes. It all started at summer flight camp. Fluttershy began her story. Flashback. First person view. You'd never guess, but when I was little I was very shy. And a very weak flyer. When I was practicing my flying, I accidentally messed up and got myself tangled in one of the flags. These 2 other boys saw me and began making fun of me. Nice going, Klutzer. They outground you permanently. One of them, who was named Dumbbell, laughed. My baby brother can fly better than you. His friend Hoops joined. It was the most humiliating moment of my life. Pause flashback. As Fluttershy continued with her story, Naruto could only grow a little angry inside of him, guessing that it might have been those boys who were messing with Rainbow Dash at the Best Young Flyers competition. Continue flashback. And then, out of nowhere, Rainbow Dash had flown to my side. Leave her alone, she said. Ooh, what are you gonna do, Rainbow Crash? Hoops told Rainbow Dash. Keep making fun of her, and find out. Rainbow Dash aggressively responded to him. Eventually, Rainbow Dash got into a race against them. I was a pony who was starting the race. As soon as I waved that flag, they began flying at top speed, making me fall off the cloud I was standing on top of. I could see myself falling straight towards the ground. I thought that was the end of me since I could hardly fly, but then the most wonderful thing happened. All these butterflies caught me. I had never seen such beautiful creatures. Butterflies don't fly as high as my cloud home. And I've never been near the ground before. What is this place? Filled with so many wonders. Fluttershy began singing a song. Casting its spell. That I am now under. Squirrels in the trees. And the cute little bunnies. Birds flying free. And bees with their honey. Hey. Oh, what a magical place. And I owe it all to the Pegasus race. If I knew the ground had so much up its sleeve, I'd have come here sooner and never leave. Yes, I love it. Pause flashback. Fluttershy finished her song. She noticed Naruto gazing at her after hearing her beautiful voice. She blushed for a moment and continued her story. Continue flashback. Anyways, there was this large burst of rainbow in the sky, causing a very loud boom which scared all the animals. However, I walked over to each one of them and told them it was okay. Somehow, I had the ability to communicate with the animals on a different level. Now in flashback. Wait. What happened to Rainbow Dash? What about the race? Scootaloo instantly asked. Oh? Well, I wasn't there, so I don't really know what happened. Fluttershy responded, as she lay down near several butterflies, which also referenced her cutie mark. Come on, Crusaders. We've gotta find her. Besides, I can't take any more singing. Scootaloo called out to Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle, who climbed on into the cart. Maybe my sister knows where she is. Sweetie Belle offered. Bye Fluttershy. She exclaimed, as Scootaloo sped off with her scooter again. Bye Shy. Naruto waves goodbye. Bye girls. Bye Naruto. Fluttershy replied, oh, and Naruto makes sure they're alright. Fluttershy smiled sweetly, too sweet. Especially you, alright. Naruto gulp. Sure thing Shy, later. Naruto quickly catches up to the fillies. Following the scooter imprints on the ground, it led Naruto towards Rarity's shop. He opened the door to see Scootaloo, Apple Bloom, and Sweetie Belle being used for dresses. How did we get roped into this? Scootaloo groaned. Oh, we'll never hear Rainbow Dash's story. Are you girls still obsessing over your cutie marks? Rarity asked. Of course. Most other fillies at school already have theirs. Sweetie Belle answered. I know how you feel. For the longest time I couldn't figure out why I didn't have mine. Rarity noticed Naruto walking towards him. Oh, Naruto. You're just in time to hear how I received my cutie mark. She gestured towards her. Come. Sit down. Naruto walked over to them and sat down, beginning to hear the story of Rarity. Well, you see, Rarity began. I was making the costumes for a play when I was your girls' ages. It was for the same school you three are attending right now. The costumes consisted of a group of fruit, a dandelion, a cake, a stack of hay, and a flower. However, I felt as if they could have still been much more fabulous. You know what it is? Flashback. Well done, Rarity. Your costumes are very nice. My teacher congratulated me on my effort. Nice. They need to be spectacular. And the performance is tomorrow. I said, wanting to do everything I can to improve my costumes. The next day, I tried every trick I could think of, but nothing seemed to work. The costumes just weren't right. And the play opened that night. When I was at the point of doubting myself and being fashionable, my horn suddenly began glowing and moving me. I had no idea where my horn was taking me. But unicorn magic doesn't happen without a reason. I knew this had to do with my love of fashion, and maybe even my cutie mark. I knew that this was my destiny. I looked up to see a big boulder. A rock, my destiny. What is your problem, horn? I said in anger. I followed you all the way out here for a rock. I huffed in frustration. Dumb rock. Suddenly an explosion came by. I was startled, but I then saw shiny gems of all kinds inside the rock, showing her true destiny. Oh, I managed to go back to the shop and stitch the gems to the costumes. During the play, the crowd was amazed by the costumes. Soon, I had 3 diamond cutie marks appear on my flank. And flashback. These nammy-pammy stories aren't getting us any closer to our cutie marks. Scootaloo exclaimed. They're all about finding who you really are, and boring stuff like that. Naruto whacked Scootaloo on the head for that comment. Scootaloo nurses her head. Yes, Scootaloo, that's exactly what Rarity said until she was cut off. Come on, girls, and Naruto. We need action. We need Rainbow Dash. Scootaloo pushed them out the door. Naruto looked over to Rarity. Sorry about that, Rarity, but you know Scootaloo. Oh, no worries, Naruto. Rarity chuckled. How about you? Did you like my story? She asked with pink on her cheeks. Yeah, it was nice. Really? Rarity nervously asks Naruto. Of course, Rarity. Naruto smiles at Rarity warmly, she slightly blushes, and smiles at him back. Care to tell me how you got your cutie mark? She asks, pointing her hoof at Naruto's flank. You already know where that came from, Naruto deadpanned. Oh, right, I forgot. Rarity blushes from embarrassment. Anyway, bye Rare, as Naruto went after the CMC. Rarity sighs. Though that reminds me, Naruto thought of something. I thought Shirley is a bit older than the other, how is she a classmate with Rarity? Naruto shrugged. The next stop was outside at a restaurant. Naruto guessed Twilight, and Trixie must have gotten the girls to come over to them while he was still at Rarity's. By the time he arrived there, Trixie was already telling her story to the girls. Trying to impress the fillies, strangely enough 2 colts appear out of nowhere, Snip and Snail, who also want to know Trixie's cutie mark. This greatly annoyed Trixie, she didn't want those 2 here. But fillies are also here, she didn't want to disappoint them, so no choice but to tell her story to them. Twilight noticed Naruto, and told him to come to the table. Naruto followed, and sat near the girls. So, you 3, the 2 colts cough, which makes Trixie annoyed a bit. I mean you 5 want to know the story of the great and powerful Trixie, she said, and the young fillies and colts nodded their heads in unison. I warn you, my cutie mark story is like none you ever heard before. It is wrought with dangerous dangers, perilous perils, and treacherous trappings. It is not for the faint of heart, least not fillies like yourselves. The Crusaders and the colts looked at each other, and then back to Trixie nodding their heads more vigorously. Naruto and Twilight rolled their eyes. Very well then. This is the story of the great and powerful Trixie. Flashback. First-person view. Long ago when I was but a little filly just like you 3, I lived in a quaint little cottage on the edge of a forest. Trixie began her story, illustrating with her magic. I lived very comfortably with my parents, but even at that tender age I knew that I was bound for greater things. My parents always warned me never to venture into the forest, but I was a rebellious and precocious child. One night, under the cover of darkness, I put on my cloak and packed my saddle, and went into that forest not knowing what lay beyond, but only knowing that whatever it is was certainly my destiny. I crept deeper and deeper into the thick woods, braving the shadows, and the sounds that the forest made during the night when suddenly my path was blocked by a mysterious pony in black. It said to me, "Young adventurer, do you seek the treasure that lays in this forest?" I was not sure of what the stranger was talking about, but my interest was piqued at the mention of treasure. "Of what treasure do you speak, stranger?" I asked. "In the middle of this forest, there is a lake, and in the middle of that lake there is a great rock, and stuck in that great rock is a wand of unspeakable power and might. I am very interested now." I told that strange pony that yes, I was here to seek the treasure that lay in the forest, and he said to me, "Do not be so foolhardy, young one. There are dangers in this forest that have bested even the strongest willed ponies. Many have tried for the treasure, none have succeeded." The stranger warned, but I told him that I was not afraid. "Very well," the stranger started. "On the path behind me there are 3 trials. The trial of might, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of courage. You must pass all 3 trials if you wish to possess the treasure. Fail just once, and you shall perish." I took to heart the instructions the stranger told me, and continued on the path. I walked for what seemed like hours before I reached the first trial. A large armored pony stood in my path, a large sword stuck in the ground beside him. "I am the immortal one," he said in a booming voice. "If you wish to continue on your journey, take up arms, and beat me in combat." Next to me was a rack of weapons. I grabbed a short sword in my teeth, and he pulled it out of the ground. He wasted no time, as he swung wildly at me. I only just dodged that attack, but it wasn't long before he came at me with another mighty blow. I blocked it with my sword, but his strength was great, and he hurled me into a nearby tree. It was very clear to me that if I was to defeat this terror that I would have to outsmart him. He may have the power, but I had speed on my side. The armored pony swung at me once again, and I ducked under his sword, and thrust it upward with mine, and stabbed him through a gap in his armor. The pony staggered, and fell on my hooves. A short while later he stood back up, and bowed his head at me. "You have bested me in fair combat, I concede," the immortal said to me. "Stand aside, and clear my path, warrior, for I am the powerful Trixie." The warrior did, as I said, and I continued on my journey. The next trial took me by surprise, as a tall wall of thorns and bones appeared in my path. A giant single eye appeared in the wall, and it spoke to me with a mouth that I could not see. "Young pony, you have bested the immortal, but very few have ever passed by me." At the base of the wall 3 ornate chests appeared, each one identical to the last. I present to you a challenge, young pony. The wall set inside each of these chests is an object. Guess all three, and you shall pass, but get one wrong, and you will become a part of me. The wall chuckled to itself, and I stayed my ground ready for the test. Inside of the first chest is the beginning of the end, and the end of time and space. It is essential to creation, and it surrounds every place. What is it? The wall asked me. I thought long and hard about the question, and for the longest time could think of nothing, but I did not want to become a part of that wall, so I thought and thought until the solution came to me. It was so simple. Inside of that chest, I said to the wall with great confidence, is the letter E. The first chest opened, and revealed to me a large wooden letter E. The wall only looked at me a bit cross before moving on to the next chest. Inside the second chest is something that has 3 lives, gentle enough to soothe the skin, and light enough to caress the sky, yet hard enough to crack rocks. What is it? This one was just as tricky as the first, but with just a little thought I came up with the answer. Inside of that chest wall is water. The second chest opened up to reveal a cup full of water. The wall was even more visibly angry at me that I solved his second riddle, but he continued on to the last chest. Inside the last chest, young pony, is something more just than Princess Celestia, more dark than Nightmare Moon. The wealthy need it, and the poverty-stricken have it. If you were to eat it, you would soon perish, and it will always last forever. What is it? This last puzzle was the most difficult of all. I sat there for what seemed like an eternity, pacing back and forth thinking about the riddle the wall presented me with, and then suddenly with a flash of realization overcame me, and I turned to the wall and shouted at it. Nothing. There is nothing in that last chest. The final chest opened to reveal that it was completely empty. The wall screamed in defeat, and I said to it, I have solved your riddles, wall, now clear a path, for I am the great Trixie. The wall receded, and I was back on the path. A short while later I came upon a small lake, and in the center of it, a large rock stood, and I could see that on top of that rock was the wand that the strange pony told me about. I walked towards the lake when suddenly a large dragon came to block my path to the lake. It growled and roared at me, but I held my ground, knowing that this was my final trial. The dragon reeled back its head, preparing its flaming breath, when I interrupted the great beast. Listen here, great dragon. I shouted at it. The beast stopped to listen to what I had to say. I have defeated the immortal warrior, and outwitted the wall of thorns and bones. I am not afraid of you, dragon, and do you know why? It is because I am the great and powerful Trixie. The dragon reeled back in terror, and yielded to my advance before it completely retreated to whence it came. I climbed that great rock, and took the wand in the center, and with a great tug, I plucked the wand from the stone. At that moment I was bestowed with great powers beyond any pony's imagination, and also at that moment I was branded with a mark, my cutie mark. And flashback. And that is how I, the great and powerful Trixie, got her cutie mark. The 3 fillies and 2 colts who were completely wrapped in the story that Trixie was telling, only to let out a simultaneous whoa. While Naruto and Twilight raised an eyebrow. That's just ridiculous. Wow, great and powerful Trixie origin, said Snipe while he gave how awesome story that was. Snail agreed and nodded. Let's tell every pony about this, said Snipe, as he took off, followed by Snail while saying, yeah. Trixie smirks until she feels stern eyes staring at her. She frowns, then scowls. Trixie tells them the truth. Naruto and Twilight scold Trixie. So, what she told about her cutie mark was a lie? Asked Applebloom, as her eyes widened. Trixie sighed, yes. So, this is how I really get my cutie mark. Trixie began her true story. It started in my school talent show. I was so nervous performing on stage, thinking Trixie may screw it up. True flashback. First person view. I can't do it, I just can't do it. I protested to my teacher backstage at the annual school talent show. I can't go out in front of all those ponies. They'll just laugh at me. Sweetie, trust me, you'll do great, and they won't laugh at you, trust me. My teacher said, trying to comfort her. Cheering came from behind the curtain, as the previous act finished. Oh, it looks like it's your turn. Go, and break a leg. Trixie gave a loud gulp, and put on my huff-stitched wizard hat, and trotted onto the stage. I looked out at the crowd of my peers, and stayed silent for a long minute. The audience started to grow impatient, and started to chatter amongst themselves, as Trixie tried to stammer out an introduction. After a while, and still suffering from stage fright, Trixie decided to throw in the towel, and started to make me walk away off the stage, while I muttered something along the lines of I'm sorry every pony. But before I could leave, something amazing happened. The sky above the entire crowd, and Trixie exploded in a glorious display of color, and was shortly followed by a deafening boom. Every pony there was amazed by it, most of all me. This event, whatever it was exactly the thing that Trixie needed to boost my confidence, and I used the event to my advantage. Do you see? Do you see that, every pony? That was all me, and that was just my warm-up act. Now allow me to introduce myself. I am the great and powerful Trixie. The audience was wrapped around my hoof for the entire show, as I produced fireworks, levitated objects, and made illusions for the crowd. The crowd was silent at the end of the talent show, anxious to know who won the competition. And the winner is, started the judge pony, opening the envelope ever so slowly. Is the great and powerful Trixie. Trixie was amazed that the judge had called her name, so amazed that she could hardly move. My teacher gave me a light shove so I could accept my prize, a golden medal in the shape of a star that the judge hung around my neck. Trixie looked out upon the crowd, and was overwhelmed with the natural high that came from an entire crowd of ponies all cheering for me. I was so caught up in the admiration that I didn't notice that a mark had appeared on my flank, a mark shaped like a magic wand. To run flashback. And that was how I really got my cutie mark, said Trixie. She looked down waiting for them to laugh at her. She is waiting for laughter, but only receives clapping. That was a nice story, Trixie, said Twilight with a smile. That was an awesome story, Trix, said Naruto with warm smiles at her. Do you really think so? Trixie shuddered as she blushes. Well, what do you think, girls? Asked Naruto to the CMC. It was amazing, said Sweetie Belle. Apple Bloom nodded to agreement. It was good, I guess, said slightly bored Scootaloo. Her friends glared at her. Meanwhile, Trixie shed a little tear, then she wiped them off. Then Apple Bloom turns to Twilight and asks, how about you, Twilight? Scootaloo groans. Me? Asked Twilight with a confused expression. How did you get your cutie mark? Twilight thought for a moment. Well, it started when I was still in Canterlot. Twilight began her story. As a young filly in Canterlot, I always wanted to go to the summer sun celebration, where Princess Celestia raises the sun. Twilight spoke. And I saw the most amazing, most wonderful thing I've ever seen. Here we go again. Flashback. First person view. During the summer sun celebration, ponies gathered around to see Princess Celestia raise the sun. Horns started playing. I squeezed through the crowd, and got to a point where I could see the princess better. I see Princess Celestia walk in front of the sun statue. I rose into the air, and rose in the sun, making the crowd gasp in awe at the spectacle. I was even more amazed. After seeing Princess Celestia's spectacular appearance, I poured myself into learning everything I could about magic. Thus, I spent every day and night reading through my books, learning many new things. My parents decided to enroll me in Princess Celestia's school for gifted unicorns. It was a dream come true. Except for one thing, I had to pass an entrance exam. I had to hatch a baby dragon from an egg. Well, Miss Sparkle. I could hear the voice of one of the examiners pressuring me. I instantly grew nervous. I had no idea what to do. I could only sweat like crazy and try my best. I continued to try to pass it, but I just couldn't get my magic to work. We don't have all day, the examiner said, making me even more nervous. I knew this was the most important day of my life, that my entire future would be affected by the outcome of this day, and I was about to blow it. After trying so much, I finally gave up. I'm sorry I wasted your time, was what I told the examiners, as I could only feel so depressed at my failure. All of a sudden, this explosion sounded from outside. It scared me so much that magic shot out from my horn and towards the egg. The egg broke, releasing a baby dragon. I screamed, as I suddenly lost control of all my magic. I had no idea what was going on. I had never been more scared of anything in my life. It wasn't until the princess placed her hoof on me. When I saw her, I instantly calmed down. All the bad magic I had caused was undone. Twilight Sparkle. The princess called my name. I immediately grew afraid, apologizing greatly for the magic I had caused, but the princess didn't scold me. You have a very special gift. What was the princess said instead? I don't think I've ever come across a unicorn with your raw abilities. Huh? But you need to learn to tame these abilities through focused study. Huh? I couldn't believe it. Twilight Sparkle, I'd like to make you my own personal protege here at the school. Huh? I exclaimed, almost believing that it was all a dream. Well? The princess asked me. I looked over to my parents to see them excitedly nodding for me to accept her offer. Yes. I screamed out. One other thing, Twilight. The princess included. More? I felt my excitement full, but the princess pointed her hoof towards my flank, revealing such an amazing gift. My cutie mark. Yes. And flashback. Yes. Twilight was hopping excitedly around us. Trixie is fast hoof, while Naruto chuckles. Okay. Apple Bloom responded, wanting Twilight to cease her celebration. We're happy for you, Twilight. Sweetie Belle added. Yeah, thrilled. Let's get out of here while we still can. Scootaloo, along with Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle, had walked away from the scene, as Naruto could only continue to stare at Twilight hop excitedly around the table, screaming out yes. Yes, she screamed. Naruto moved in front of her, and placed his hooves on her, calming her down. Okay Twi, that's enough to calm down. Every pony is looking at you, Naruto told her softly. She lost her grin, and stopped bouncing. She looked around to notice the crowd around us. Sparkle, why embarrass me so? Trixie shook her head in shame. Are you okay? One of the passers-by asked. Twilight giggled nervously. Yes. The crowd separated back into their own paths. Well, I better go catch up with the girls, Naruto told Twilight. Okay, said Twilight, as she sits down with Trixie. Naruto takes off to find the CMC. You paying right? Asked Trixie if she'll pay for lunch. Twilight sigh nodded. As they're still looking for Rainbow Dash, Naruto had the time to think for himself. There's a pattern here, as I recall Fluttershy and Trixie saw a rainbow and heard a boom after that. Then Applejack saw only the rainbow, while Twilight and Rarity heard a boom. Naruto thought. Why don't we ever smash into Rainbow Dash? Scootaloo complained. You're looking for Rainbow Dash. If I was her, I'd be a Sugar Cube corner. Of course, if I was anyone, I'd be a Sugar Cube corner. Hey, I have an idea. Wanna go to Sugar Cube corner? Pinkie Pie said, as she appeared in the cart from out of nowhere. She almost fell out, but Apple Bloom grabbed her. Naruto looked shocked by her sudden appearance. How did she? You know what, never mind, Naruto thought. Well, we're sort of looking for Rainbow Dash, so we can hear how she got her cutie mark. Sweetie Belle said. Cutie mark? Come with me, and I'll tell you how I got mine. Pinkie Pie said. Naruto, Sweetie Belle, and Apple Bloom look at Scootaloo. Scootaloo sighed in defeat. Why not? Scootaloo said. Alright, Pinkie Pie said. Pinkie brings out a harp out of nowhere and makes the flashback sound. Pinkie, what are you doing? Asked Naruto. Making flashback sound silly. Naruto and the fillies give her a weird look. Anyway, cue flashback sound. Flashback. First person view. My sisters and I were raised on a rock farm outside of Ponyville. We spent our days working the fields. There was no talking. There was no smiling. I sighed, there were only rocks. We were in the south field, preparing to rotate the rocks to the east field when all of a sudden, an explosion occurs and forms a powerful gust of wind that made my mane curly and gave me a brighter color. A rainbow appeared in the sky and gave the surrounding area a brighter appearance. I'd never felt joy like that before. It felt so good I just wanted to keep smiling forever. And I wanted everyone to learn how to smile too, but rainbows don't come along that often. I wondered, how else could I create some smiles? Later tomorrow, I prepared a surprise for my family. We better harvest the rocks from the south field, said my dad. My family was about ready to harvest the rocks. Until I made myself notice. Pinkamena Diane Pie. Is it you? My mom called out. Mom, I need you and Dad and the sisters to come in. Quick, I screamed out to my parents, excitedly. When they came in, I shouted to them, surprise. Do you like it? It's called a party. I made a huge grin. After seeing them tremble with fear, I lost my smile. Oh? You don't like it? I continued to see them shake, seeing all the party stuff I did. Suddenly, they smiled like never before. You like it? I'm so happy. Then my family and I danced the day away, oh, and my cutie mark appears. And flashback. And that's how Equestria was made. Pinkie finished oddly. Naruto and Scootaloo remained silent until both of them finally broke it. What? Both questioned, like brother and sister. Look, we're here. Apple Bloom said. Maybe on the way home I can tell you the story of how I got my cutie mark. It's a gem. Pinkie got off the cart and walked towards the inside of the shop. Oh, come on. She's just being Pinkie Pie. Sweetie Belle trying to cheer Scootaloo up. Scootaloo grunts. If it makes you feel better, I feel the same way, said Naruto. As they walked in, making Scootaloo brighten a bit. When they got inside, they saw all the main six and Trixie there. Rainbow Dash. You're here. Scootaloo exclaimed out loud. I hear you're looking for my cutie mark story. Rainbow Dash answered as she walked over to the three little girls. Scootaloo sighed. You have no idea what I've been through today to hear that story. Naruto and the other girls chuckle, immediately sat down to hear it. Rainbow Dash gave them a grin and began her story. Last flashback. Flashback. First person view. It all happened during the race of flight camp, where I stood alone against all odds to defend Fluttershy's honor. I've never flown like that before. That freedom was unlike anything I've ever felt. The speed, the adrenaline, the wind in my mane, I liked it a lot. When Fluttershy waved down the flag, the race started. I was taking the lead, as I and the bullies flew through the rings. The crowd was watching the spectacular race happening. I cut around a corner and made dumbbell crash into the pillar. I remembered myself gaining a major lead. Suddenly, Hoops knocks me out of the way. Ha! Later, Rainbow Crash. That jerk said that to me as he headed towards the finish line. Hey! I shouted as I flew after him. Turns out the only thing I liked more than flying fast was winning. Then I performed the most awesome thing ever. Most people thought that the Sonic Rainboom was just an old mare's tale. But that AI discovered racing, and I proved that the legends were true. I made the impossible happen. I arched around Cloudsdale as the crowd cheered loudly. Then I gained my cutie mark, which was a cloud with a thunderbolt. Unknown to any pony, a wormhole appears during the end of Sonic Rainboom, sending the rainbow light somewhere else. And flashback. And that, little ones, is how you earn a cutie mark. Rainbow Dash said. Was all the cutie mark Crusaders could reply with. So, it makes sense now. Every pony turns their attention to Naruto. What do you mean, Naruto? Asked Twilight curiously. Your stories are all connected, said Naruto. Huh? Said every pony. Don't you see, half of you saw a wave of rainbow and a boom before you had your cutie mark. Every pony's eyes widened, and Naruto continued his explanation. And the other half heard a boom or saw a rainbow. This also explains how my Rasengan got a little strong during my mission in the past. Every pony's eyes got even wider. You also got connected to this? Asked Rarity. Maybe, but it's during my time in my world, said Naruto. But that's impossible, Twilight exclaimed. I don't know, but when you all used the element of harmony in my battle with Nightmare Moon, every pony remembers that, except Trixie. That feeling when you use the element of harmony to power up I felt it before. Every pony gaped. Maybe I will tell you my story of this connection. Every pony nodded. Well, it all started when I went on a mission with my team to bodyguard some actresses. Naruto began his story. We had to escort Yuki Fujikaze, the actress who played Princess FKN, while she made the next movie in the Land of Snow. As it turned out, Yuki was actually a real princess. Her real name is Koyuki Kazuhana, Princess of the Land. Final flashback. This will be third person's view. Dotu growls, hands slow, but sure, as he goes through hand seals. Haimton. Kakura Muksetsu, ice release. Black Dragon Blizzardy rears a fist back and punches it, a black dragon rushing from his fist straight to Naruto. Grimacing, Naruto jumps into the air, but the blast of ice from the dragon's impact still sends him high up into the air and landing to the ground with a thud. Naruto. Koyuki cries. What's the matter? I hardly felt anything there, Naruto groaned. Naruto, that's enough. If you don't stop, he's gonna kill you. Koyuki insists, staggering up. You just have little faith in me, I promise you. Naruto stood up slowly with pure determination. I won't lose. Dotu growls and shoots forward, Naruto stumbling back from the sudden burst of speed. Dotu puts on. What the hell? Isn't this guy supposed to be just some noble? Where is he pulling this shit from? Naruto thinks in panic, as Doctor's first rushes towards him. Die. Dotu roars, his powerful hit sending Naruto crashing through the ice so hard the majority of the lake's ice cracks and crumbles, revealing the freezing cold lake below. Naruto is sent sinking down into the dark depths, fighting against the cold and his stupid chakra seal. That's it. Kyuubi. Let's light it up. Up above, Dotu smirks in satisfaction, Koyuki behind him sinking to her knees. Could Naruto have survived that? Dotu senses someone approaching him. Sasuke comes bearing down on Dotu with a Chidori. Take this. Chidori. Sasuke pushes forward, getting as close as he can with the Doctor's shield in place. Sakura was right. From the observations of their fight with Snownin earlier, the key to the chakra armor was the small circular yin-yang symbol in the middle of their chest. I swear that take away their power edge. He manages to make a crack in the armor, the place where the energy source powers the armor, just before Dotu sends him back with a strong blow. Sasuke crashes into a wall of ice, his body making a crater in it. Ha ha. Your pathetic little has done nothing. Dotu laughs, unknowing of the crack in his armor. Sasuke smirks, a trickle of blood sliding down his chin. On the contrary, I've given Naruto a good foothold. Naruto. Naruto heard Sasuke shout, and with that Kurama gave him a boost. From above, Dotu laughs, turning his back on the lake, and therefore he can't see the sudden disturbance. Soon though, he feels the earthquake under his feet. He whips around to stare at the lake, where the water churns. What is this? What it is Taijukage Bushin no Jutsu. Naruto's filling the sky, as they jump from the water. As one, they all speak. Payback, with compound interest. Dotu. That too is momentarily shocked, but he shakes it off. Big words. Black Dragon Blizzard. Two dragons from each fist erupt and swirl around each other as they destroy the Naruto clones. They combine to form a large black twister, the clones swirling around them like satellites or debris in a hurricane. The winds eventually died down, stopping, as all the clones seem to be gone. So where's the real one? Amongst the dust and clouds of white mist kicked up, Dotu laughs maniacally. It's over. It's all over. I told you, it's not over yet. Naruto's voice comes from across the way from Datu. The dust blows away to reveal Naruto, spinning in his hand, as he smirks at Datu. Koyuki's eyes widen, just wondering what kind of kid Uzumaki Naruto was. When I think of something being over, I think it means I've won, and you've lost, Datu. Naruto continues. His is complete now, and with a snarl he runs forward, his only focus on ending this. Koyuki, emboldened by the never-die attitude of the young blonde, stands up and shouts, Naruto. This unlucky princess accepts you, as the greatest ninja ever. That goes without saying. Naruto answers, feet carrying him forward faster. As he runs, a wormhole appears when the sun rises over the snow and ice peaks of Yuki no Kuni, and it causes a strange reaction. The sun's rays catch the mirror-like ice structures around the valley, and combine the rainbow light from a different dimension. That light is somehow absorbed by the. It glows brighter than it ever did before, turning iridescent, as trails of rainbow-colored light swirl around it, and behind Naruto. Dotu, in a panic, swings at Naruto. Naruto smoothly ducks and, with all his might, thrusts the 7-colored chakra into Datu's midsection. Rasengan. He shouts, glaring blue fire into Datu's very soul. With a forceful shove from Naruto, Datu was blasted back, spinning like a top, and hitting the mirror ice with a crack. Datu slid down, whatever happened to him. Naruto didn't care though he was pretty sure he was defeated, dead, minor or present in the CMC. The land immediately changes settings. Spring truly arrives in the country. The snow melts in an instant, green grass, and wildflowers replacing the blanket of white, a pleasant breeze meandering around them all. Somehow, a projection of the late Susetsu with a much younger Koyuki speaking to him, appears in the air above them, like a mirage or a dream. Koyuki looked up in surprise, and remembered this. Her father asked her what she wanted to be. And her answer. I want to be a kind, strong princess. Her younger counterpart answers slowly, but surely. Then flashback. And that's how the land of snow turns into the land of spring. Naruto finishes his story. Every pony has different reactions, some weird gape, awe, and shock. You save an actress, sad Futoshi well gape. Yeah. You save a princess, said Rarity with a shocking expression. Yeah. You save a country, said Twilight with the biggest shocking expression ever. Yeah. The glacier named after you, said Scootaloo with awe. Yeah, it's named Glacier Uzumaki, said Naruto with a grin. That was awesome. Rainbow Dash, and CMC exclaimed. Twilight shook her head, and said. So, you saying Rainbow Dash is Sonic Rainboom connects all of us? Yours maybe, but mine not sure, said Naruto. So, that rainbow, an explosion was Rainbow Dash. Fluttershy spoke up, Naruto nodded. Without Rainbow Dash scared the animals, I never would have learned I could communicate with them, and gotten my cutie mark. I heard that boom. And right afterwards there was this amazing rainbow that taught me to smile. Pinkie Pie added. When I got my cutie mark, I saw a rainbow that pointed me home. Applejack included, then she pointed at Rainbow. I bet it was your Sonic Rainboom. There was an explosion I could never explain when I got my cutie mark. Rarity now exclaimed, as well. Your Rainboom gave me confidence to win the talent show and earn my cutie mark. Trixie was in shock. This is uncanny. If that explosion didn't happen when it did, I would have blown my entrance exam. Rainbow Dash, I think you helped me earn my cutie mark too. Twilight brought up. We all owe our cutie marks to you. Pinkie Pie had tackled Rainbow Dash playfully to the ground. Do you realize what this means? All of us had a special connection before we even met. Fluttershy said happily. We've been BFFs forever, and we didn't even know it. Added Rarity. Come here, Yul. Applejack exclaimed, and pulled all of them in for a group hug, as they all presented. Trixie protests at first, but sighs in defeat, while Naruto is in between. I love you, guys, said Pinkie. We love you too, Pinkie. Naruto chuckled. Hey Naruto, as Kurama is Naruto's attention inside his mindscape. Yeah. Can I take your man's card, or in this case, Stallion's card? Kurama snickered along with another male Biju, while the female glares at the male. Fuck you, Kurama. Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle repeated the same thing until Scootaloo interrupted. Give him a break. Come on, Crusaders. Maybe we just need to try training again. Scootaloo about to leave, until Sweetie Belle grabs into a group hug with Apple Bloom. Scootaloo sighs in defeat. Hey, about his song, said Fluttershy. Yeah, said the fillies, except Scootaloo. The only thing she said is, no. Bonus. Where it all begin. It's been months. Naruto moved in with Scootaloo. Naruto is thinking that their income working at Sweet Apple Acre is great, but it won't be enough to pay the bill. So, I'm thinking of a way to earn money. Thinking hard, Naruto had no idea until an idea came up. He's thinking to republish his godfather's work. He wants the Tale of the Utterly Gutsy Shinobi and Ichi's series to publish. But one problem, he doesn't know the first thing about ponies' anatomy. So Naruto visited the local library, but when he arrived it was closed down for years. So, Naruto thinks the next best thing is the hospital. Where there are books about pony anatomy, Naruto travels to Ponyville's hospital. When he opens the door he sees a white pony mare in the counter with pink mane, and her eyes are blue. Her cutie mark is a red cross. Naruto approached the counter, and said, "Excuse me." "Oh yes dear, how may I help you?" said the white mare nurse. "Do you have any books about ponies' anatomy, and other creatures' anatomy?" asked Naruto. The white mare thought for a moment. "Let's see." The white mare went to the back of the counter. Naruto waited for a moment until the nurse returned. "Oh here, we have 3 books about ponies' anatomy, 2 books about griffins' anatomy, and some other creature anatomy." As she labels the books on the counter, "Well, you renting dear?" "Yes please, how much?" "That will be almost 30 bits for all of them, as rent." Naruto nodded. He brought out the money, and paid it all. The nurse gives the books to Naruto. "Thank you miss." "Redeared, dear." Naruto nodded. "Okay, Miss Redeared, thank you again." "Okay dear, oh by the way what will you do with them?" asked Redeared. "Research." Redeared gives a confused expression, as Naruto walks out of the hospital. 4 months later, the book was a success. The tale of the utterly gutsy shinobi moves slowly, but surely, the Icha skyrocket to the chart for most sale book in the market. A knock on Naruto's door, Naruto opens it only to reveal Nurse Redeared. Naruto's eye rays of confusion, "Oh Redeared, what can I do you for?" Red Heart seems nervous, "Well if you don't mind." Autographing this book, Redeared held a familiar orange book. Naruto's eyes widened realizing what she's holding. Naruto nodded, and agreed to sign it, "Okay." As he finishes signing it, he gives it back to Redeared. She perverted giggles, "Thank you." She walks away with a perverted giggle. Naruto stares at her, until she's out of his sight. Naruto shrugged, and closed the door. Alternative ending. A knock on Naruto's door, Naruto opens it only to reveal Nurse Redeared. Naruto's eye rays of confusion, "Oh Redeared, what can I do you for?" Red Heart seems nervous, "Well if you don't mind." Autographing this book, Redeared held a familiar orange book. Naruto's eyes widened realizing what she's holding. Naruto nodded, and agreed to sign it, "Okay." As he finishes signing it, he gives it back to Redeared. She perverted giggles, "Thank you." She's about to leave, until she looks at Naruto in a sultry way. "You know, I have another thing you have to sign." Redeared is inches away from Naruto's face. "Oh, and where is it?" asks Naruto. Here, Redeared turns around, lifts her tail, and shows Naruto her voluptuous behind. Naruto blushes heavily. "And maybe I'll be a model for your next book," she whispered in Naruto's ear seductively. "Scootaloo, we'll be back in 2 hours or so," Naruto insisted. "Alright," she walks in the house while swinging her hip. Naruto closes the door with a perverted sly smile on his face. The end. Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.